All right, good morning or afternoon, depending on where you're at, or even evening. How's everybody doing today? I'm going to work mostly on the Content Command Center today. Still trying to make a couple of changes to my graphic overlays real quick. What's going on, Dante? How you doing, buddy? Welcome to the show. First time chatting. See that little celebration on screen for you? That was one of the things we added over the weekend. I like that. I like knowing when somebody new joins. How you doing, man? Where you located at? Where are you located at? USA. What's going on, John? Well, you don't get a celebration because you've already been here. But whenever you chat, you should be the first person that gets the to show banner added on your name in the corner. If you want to send me another text message, I can make sure that that works. Because I was looking at something else when you chatted. Learning a lot, USA. What state? Let's go. We got another new one. What's up, Techno Babble? 3 shows. Oh, it didn't count the shows, dude. Look at that. All right, that's a bug. Let's report that to Grok. So I'm telling Grok, it looks like we aren't counting the number of shows that someone chatted correctly, or there's a setting that I missed or something. We should just use the date of the event to separate the number of shows, as I never stream more than once a day, and that's a simple solution. Florida. Let's go. You got hacked? That sucks, bro. Yeah, Claude's not going to help you there. That's one of the things I talked about in my video last night is Fable will not help you with security work. I would recommend getting Grok or ChatGPT Sol, importing it at your projects and starting to do security audits. I think Grok actually tends to find more stuff right now. But if it's something that legitimately got hacked, I would actually go ahead and get both of them, and maybe even Gemini, and just have all of them do independent security audits on your code and figure out what's going on. Sorry to hear that, man. I am going to work on our Content Command Center, and I believe I still need to start that. Likely in the rootkit. So was it like a web application that you put out or something? What were you using to build it? Were you just building Claude, or did you go on one of those platforms like Replit or Lovable or something? Okay, so this is my Content Command Center. I'll open up my recent project just so I have something to look at. Go with the Divorcing Claude project. Okay, so one of the things that's missing from this is I don't have any ability to add B-roll to all of this. So all those little Grok Imagine graphics that were in my video last night, I had to go out and do manually in CapCut, which I don't want to do. I don't want to use CapCut. So I got to figure that out. Also, I don't need that open. I don't need that wasting my RAM. Let's see if Grok came back about the show count. Looks like he's still working on that. No problem. Been building an all-in-one with Claude Code, and it's a big project. Claude uninstalled anti-gravity, like it took it by itself and uninstalled anti-gravity on you. That's kind of rude. Yeah, how many estimated users are there? This is as of March. TechCrunch. How many users of Claude Code? 4.2 million weekly active developer users. It sounds low, but whatever. And these all look like AI slop websites. But that's fine. We'll say 4.2 million. We'll do a little spreadsheet math for you guys here. So 4 to number of users of Claude. And so Claude made a change on the 14th that the default behavior by Claude Code is now that it auto approves everything. It doesn't ask you for anything. And it said that that captures 89% of all of the possible bad things. So that sounds good, right? It's catching 89% of them. But how many it misses is 11%. 1 minus that, 11%. Now, 11%. So if we take 4 million users, times 11%, that is 462,000 people every week that are having irreparable damage done by Claude's decision to make auto approve the default feature. So about 4 times 4. Why can I not? I can't do math in my head anymore, man. I'm getting old. Yeah, almost 2 million people almost 2 million people a month getting destroyed by Claude's bad choices. That sucks. Speaking in parables. All right, let's get to work here. Okay, so that should be fixed on the show count thing. What's going on, Animal Chins? How you doing, buddy? It's your first time actually chatting on here since we got the overlays going. You did catch the almost start, dude. But now that you join, I'm gonna end up having to like end it. Can't have you in here in the beginning. I do need John to type another message again, though, to see if it is going to pick up him as a 2-show member. It should be counting that based on dates now. All right, we got John in there. Wait, Dante, were you in one of my shows before? Yeah, John, you're good. Thank you, sir. Let's see. Members. Let's add some stats on that. So I told Grok I want to add some stats to the members page when it says 2 shows. I want to be able to click that and see the dates, maybe in some kind of calendar visualization. Yeah, buddy. So I made this. This is what I was working on last weekend when you joined at the end. Was just being able to recognize people that are members that keep coming back and have like achievements and badges. So the more messages you send, the more it like levels up you inside of our little community. So pretty cool. And I'm just trying to work out the number, the counting how many shows that somebody has been on there and make sure that that is accurate. While I'm totally getting myself sidetracked from what was supposed to be the point, which was working on this thing. So adding the graphics and the beats, I've got that pretty well dialed in to where I like it. And I can set, you know, all of these little parameters and build the graphic on the fly. So I like that. But I'm missing the ability to add B-roll or add in like insert clips. And then the other thing that I ended up having to use CapCut for yesterday, there was a couple of places where I wanted to just do like overlay images on top, like the video. Like the front of the beginning of the video where I had the lady in the blue rug, I ended up having to use CapCut and overlay that on top. So I gotta figure that out. So let's deal with the B-roll part first. What's up? Somebody sent me a robot. What's up, Legal? One of my members in the show. Let's go. It's yeah, it's not carrying over the titles and stuff correctly. I can see that because it still has you as your first show. So, all right, hold on. Let me finish my thought here. All right, so I said one of the biggest missing features right now is the ability to add B-roll clips or insert my own clips from Grok Imagine. It feels like this needs to live somewhere in the visual package. Also, it seems like we probably need some way to see the entire video on a timeline or something, but I'm just not sure how to do that without getting into the same rendering preview problems like we had with the transcript edit. We moved to a live preview and transcript edit, but I'm not sure if we can do something similar here in the visual package. Let's brainstorm, if I can spell. Let's brainstorm this together, bro. Let's figure this out. Saul, yeah, waiting on Saul is a common situation. But I think it's because Saul likes to be pretty thorough. It doesn't feel like Saul takes too many shortcuts compared to what it used to do. But it also does go on a lot of wild goose chases, so there's that. Okay, so let's see members. I should have the ability to see. Why is that not on there? What are we doing here? Shit, did I put that in the wrong freaking chat? Oh, I did. Dang it. That's going to get confusing. I shouldn't be having two Grok windows open at the same time. That's going to get confusing. All right, I need to move this one over. What I need to do is get David Hacker's little thing installed for running multiple sessions. I need to get that done. It's been on my to-do list for like 2 weeks now. He's got an awesome tool that I need to implement. What are the rest of you guys working on today? On this wild, wacky Wednesday? Let's go. Animal Chins becoming a member. Let's go. Thank you, bro. I just added, actually, any of you guys, legal Animal Chins, so I added a new emoji today that you will see is a poo. It is a Vibe Code Guild colored poo. But I have not yet linked it in for the animation to show it on screen. So I need one of you guys to send that poo so that I can get the code that comes up in the chat. And then we will, what's up, V3? And then we will, you guys will be able to chuck poo around while we're here. And then at some point we're going to do a little poll. Oh, you got to do it by itself. Just do it once. And I think that still works. It still gives me the code, but do it once so we at least can see it and make sure that it looks all right. And I think I have the ability to do the emojis without getting Grok involved. I don't. I'm gonna have to have Grok build it. So that's a bummer. So let me have him finish on this calendar feature, and then I'll have him. We'll add the poo. I'm excited to have the poo. No, I don't want you doing other mock-ups. So Grok 4.6 has this repetitive behavior of it'll come back and say some of what we're working on might be easier to explain if I can show you in a web browser. I can put together mock-ups, diagrams. So I've said no on that every single time, just because I don't want it wasting time on mock-ups. Like I'd rather just talk it through. If I need a mock-up, I'll ask it to make me an image. Otherwise, I'm comfortable talking through the situation with it. Medical chronology report generator. Every output consumes $11 of tokens per generator. Mostly consumed by the medical records it has to process. Well, so the medical records, that should be SQL, right? Like it should, or is it processing PDFs or something? Or is it pulling medical records out of a database? You should be able to save a lot of that with pre-processing. A lot of that sounds like it would be deterministic that doesn't need to be a model. And let me give Grokster the poo emoji image. Hold on. All right, we are gonna have a poo wired up pretty soon. Oh God, just bulk unorganized medical record PDFs. Yep, there you go. That's your problem. Well, okay, so the OCR, I still think most of your OCR can probably be implemented without AI. You know, OCR has existed for a long time prior to AI. Do you at least have some like standardized fields, or like at least like maybe standardized field names or things that you're able to look for? It sounds like there's like 2 project opportunities there too. Like, you know, if you build something that can, basically, like, you should never process a medical PDF twice. If you've processed it and you found the information off of it, that should be getting shoved into some database so that you never have to waste tokens on that form ever again. No standardized fields, different records from any type of medical provider in the country. Yeah, that sounds accurate. That's why our insurance is so damn expensive, is because these assholes can't standardize on forms. It's ridiculous. And they have no incentive to, because they can bill us more money for that. They have no incentive to ever get more efficient. That is, like, I have friends that have been trying to solve that problem for 25 years that have tried doing medical technology startups and stuff. The doctors, the insurers, Kaiser, they always push back against it. Yeah, I feel like you could like somewhat batch that out though, right? So as you find a new form type, you create a reader for that form type. What's up, Mitchell Wilson? Yeah, Azure OCR, exactly. Well, I'm not, obviously law firms have tons of tokens, but I'm just thinking about something that you could, because if you nail down some of this stuff, you potentially could implement that for other law firm clients too, right? Because it's the same problem everywhere. The reading in PDF documents and getting the correct data off of it in an organized way, that is the foundation to being able to build a proprietary model. And once you get to where you're somebody that can build a proprietary model, now all of a sudden you can charge people big money. Oh my pie for a month now. What's oh my pie? What is that? You're running LLMs on a Pi, on a Raspberry Pi? I got one I'm trying to sell. I got a Raspberry Pi 5 that I don't use, that I just want to sell. And those things have gone way up in value, so I'm going to end up making money off of it. Okay, let me restart this. All right, where's my channel members at? You guys should be able to chuck a poo now. If you hit the poo emoji, we should see a poo go flying across the screen, which will bring me joy because I'm really just a giant child at heart. Coding artist. But it's not on Raspberry Pi? All right, looks like we got a calendar. I can see who was here before. I like it. Wait, try it again. Animal Chins, did that? I didn't see it, I was looking away. Let's go, look at that poo flying. Oh, stinky. Stinky, stinky poo, I love it. Love it. Let's go, we got a membership gift. Thank you guys, thank you, thank you, thank you. Dang. What just happened? How the hell did I just get all those members? Wait, did I just get hacked, or did I actually get that many members? How'd that happen? I think V3's hooking me up over there, dude. That's amazing. How'd you do that? V3 is like my god tier, like VIP right now, dude. Dang, thank you, dude. That's amazing. So that we got the member goal for the stream, so that's freaking awesome. Let's go. I don't know if that gift thing is actually working right. Trying to raise money to get a new freaking camera. The camera that you hacked it, dude. Don't hack my stuff. Don't hack my stuff. Yeah, I need a new camera. My camera sucks. I want to get the Elgato 4K because it allows me to put some filters on and stuff. So then this lighting won't be so harsh. I can, you know, and it won't be so like just look a little bit more professional. Okay, so we've got our poos. That is awesome. I'm going to stop screwing around on the overlays for a second. Let's get back to what I was supposed to be working on, which is this Vibe Code Guild Content Command Center. So allow me to read for a second, please. Text only here. So here's the constraint that makes this interesting. Visual package is built on a locked cut. Beats, assignment, and placement all sit on that cut's word IDs and frames. Correct. Transcript edit already proved we can play the live cut. Placement already plays one beat the same way. Live HyperFrames. The older visual production workspace already has B-roll imported. Yeah, it has a path, but that didn't work. I actually kind of need to clear out that old visual production workspace stuff. The first fork is what insert a clip actually means, because one of these keeps the locked cut contract and the other one blows it up. That is exactly the issue. And I'm glad that Grok figured that out. So basically all of my stuff inside the Content Command Center is all running on the back end in transcript timing. So there are these transcript files that are created as I start editing one. And these are giant JSONs. And so this has all of the words, the ID of the words, start and end timing, frame, positions, etc. So that's our transcript. And then when I start doing the editing and the overlays, it creates more transcript JSONs. Wait, what is hand pink waving? What's going on, hacker? Hand pink waving. That's not a custom emoji, right? Yeah, dude, I want the Elgato 4K. That's my goal. $200, it's good enough. Because I'm using the Elgato teleprompter, and so I figured it would be nice to have them fit together. Progress every day, that's all you can do, bro. You guys should go follow Hardhead Hackerhead's channel. He does cool stuff. And V3. I don't know if you have a channel though. Oh, you got your first Fiverr order? Let's go, dude. What were you? How much were you able to charge? I really need to do that. I really need to do that. I think the fact that you're in America is going to move you way up people's search queues on Fiverr and Upwork and everything else. Okay, so Grok has figured out the problem. So if I insert a B-roll, it's breaking our transcript and our timing of the transcript because now everything has been smudged. So that's going to be the problem, bro. That's going to be the problem. $75 for an app audit? Damn. Nice job, dude. I need to do that. I need to do that. I really need to do that. Yeah, okay, so inserting the B-roll kind of needs to happen before we have the final locked transcript. So it almost needs to happen back here in this portion. So this is where I've like put all my cuts and splices. And then that's exporting my final transcript out in this after this stage, which gives the timing of everything. So I think it might be easiest to have that happen here, but then even that is going to create a mismatch in my timing frames, because all of these splices are based on a transcript, and so if I insert something here, that's moving all these frame numbers over. This is more complicated than I thought it was going to be. How should I do this, you guys? All right. So I'm telling Grok, I see the problem you're pointing out, and it is a huge one. If I insert B-roll at any point after we've generated a transcript in the transcript editor, our frame marks and timing are no longer correct. And I don't have a good solution for that yet. Like one way to do it would be to make it retain a record of the transcript that we had, and then this has been inserted, and then there's just an offset from that, but that's going to get complicated and kludgy really quick. And then shit, how am I going to do this? I mean, the way I did it last night was at the very end, after I had exported my final here, then I popped that into CapCut and then I inserted some B-rolls. So that's one way to do it at the end, because then after this is done, then I'm done with worrying about frame timings. How do I want to do this? Sorry, not really being a very good host, like sitting here thinking. What's going on, Paul? Dude, I got the poo implemented. You guys can now chuck poo. If you're members, you guys can chuck poo. Which brings me to the next issue. I'm going to be able to put in, now that V3 has bestowed that wonderful gift upon me, I'm going to be able to put 2 more emojis in there. So I got to figure out what I should add. Look at that poo flying. Just smelly, stinky poo. Love it. You have to be a channel member. Like if you're a member of my channel, then you have custom emojis that you can use, and anytime you send one of the custom emojis, it'll trigger on the screen. Then you can chuck poo, you can send robot heads, whatever. What else? Like what? I get 2 more emojis. What should I add, dude? Thank you, bro. What should my new emojis be? At some point, Paul, we got to start working on these sound bites, the ability to add sounds. That'll be super cool. How's your book going, Paul? All right. So the timing problem, I'm gonna have to read for a second and concentrate, you guys, sorry. Let's go! V3 is gifting more memberships. Dude, V3 is like God tier. Thank you, bro. It's amazing. But now I'm not gonna get like credit card chargebacks for those or something, am I? I don't think it's internet first. I'm sure other people have done it. I know Hacker has some overlays that are feeding his chat in there. KDP approving the first proof. Oh, so you got your printed proof back? That's pretty cool. I think you're giving everyone memberships. It's amazing. Wait, so how does that work? Are you going to get billed for those people next month too? Or are they just going to like look like cancellations and then all my channel looks like I get everyone canceling on me every month? How's that going to work? I don't know how that works. All right, let me read for a second. So the timing problem only shows up if the cut gets longer or shorter, which it will. If I add B-roll, it will. So where I already add or reorder recordings is at the very beginning. Yeah, I can't really do that. Okay, so option 1, putting it in there in the beginning. Sweet. Putting it there in the beginning is... that one's a no-go, because that's at the beginning, that's on my raw footage. I haven't cut anything up. I don't even know what B-roll I want to use, much less where it lives. There's also all kinds of pauses and extra takes in that, so that doesn't work. After transcribe, before locked cut, so if I insert a shot in that final timeline, yeah, I agree that that's not. Locked cut export. This is the freeze. Captions, audio, all bind to the locked cut. Splicing here means new cut, new hash, re-export. Throw away or rebuild every visual artifact. That's a recut, not B-roll. We're not doing it in a master beater. I don't think I want to do it here either in the scene layer of the assignment. Ugh. Well, there's two kinds of B-roll, isn't there? Placement studio. Number 7. After all graphics are locked, a new coverage pass. Sprint B-roll on the finished graphic package. So graphics stay the critical path that I already built. B-roll becomes optional finishing. Locked cut still untouched. B-roll will cover cards I just perfected unless it's forbidden. Yeah. So I think that it's... think that after all the graphics are locked, so I said this spot seems like the right place for it to happen, but I need the ability to insert clips, so it's making another cut, inserting a clip and shifting everything over, which is totally new behavior. The final encode only, no. This is, man, I really wasn't planning for this to be that complicated. The flaming lips? I don't think so, because this is just the YouTube free music, which brings up an idea. So I'm asking Grok, I want the ability to save polls so that I can reuse them. So example, poll about choice of music, I want to rerun it without retyping everything. Because right now all my polls have to be reset from the beginning. The song had the opening riff from Do You Realize? Wild. That's going to get them in trouble if they're doing that. Can't be stealing riffs. Alright. So my answers split this into two different tools, and that is useful. An overlay B-roll, picture changes, time does not. That can be on assignment. Yep. No, I don't think, no, that doesn't belong in a new pass. No, dude. The overlay B-roll is an assignment. Okay, so I think an overlay B-roll is just a new graphics type, and that leaves all of my beats assignment place piping in place. Because that's an overlay B-roll is just another type of graphic that doesn't shift my timeline. Keep the lock cut time forever. So I think the overlay B-roll is just a new graphic. Let's lock this decision, and then we're going to keep brainstorming the other type of B-roll where I'm inserting a clip. That second one is going to be the problem. And I think the putting an image over the top of the screen, I think that I can handle that the same by just having another graphic library. That should be fine. All right, music's getting a little bit too slow here. We're gonna leave it for a second because I'm gonna let you guys vote on music after Grok gets my reusable polls going here. That's gonna be our first test case for the reusable polls, is letting you guys vote on the mood of the music. Wait, CapCut owns what you upload? Jerks. Well, I'm just building my own version of CapCut. But I'm not trying to like completely replicate CapCut. I'm just trying to make my own software, which is open source. You guys can go get it now in the GitHub repo. Although the repo is a bit of a mess because there's a bunch of other stuff jammed in there that needs to be cleaned up. But I'm just trying to build it to do the exact workflow that I need, exactly how I need it to do. So there are some features that are not lifted, but inspired by CapCut. So CapCut owns what you upload. Not surprising. I'm pretty sure CapCut is owned by ByteDance, aren't they? Aren't they owned by the same Chinese company that started TikTok? Or am I imagining that? Okay, so Grok said we've got our reusable poles. Let's try that. Let's set that up. Remotion. Yeah, Remotion's pretty cool. And then HyperFrames. So what I'm actually using is HyperFrames behind the scenes. But I was just trying to make a reusable engine that gives me more control over the HyperFrames. Instead of... I started off with trying to have, you know, Claude and ChatGPT and others like do it all, but it just was creating so much more time because it wasn't doing how I wanted. And then I was having to go through so many cycles of like fixing it and editing it. Okay. What music mood? So we have, we're not going to do angry. Chill. I'll do dark. And I'll even hit some dramatic. Nah. Add one more. We'll do uplifting too. So let's put that on screen. Let's turn the goals off because that's in the way. And we're gonna go a 2-minute poll, and we are going to start the poll. So there you go. Type it in. What kind of music should I switch us over to? Funky, funky. I think you have to type just the word just once. There you go. I do love me some funk, bro. Love some funk. The world does not appreciate funk enough. All of the 90s hip-hop you love was all stolen from funk. Most people don't realize that Dr. Dre's Chronic album is essentially just a stolen version of Parliament. Like, he basically is like Black Weird Al Yankovic. Like, he literally just like took Parliament and changed the lyrics. A shinny soul? I have a shiny soul. Is that good or bad? Yeah, there you go. That, you're not gonna hear that anywhere else. Dr. Dre is Black Weird Al Yankovic. That is a hot take right there. Let's go. We got 100 messages so far. Funky is in the lead with 45 seconds to go. Okay, so insert clips is the other job. After graphics are locked, I still have an immutable cut, but the show can get longer. That's correct. That's the issue. Shiny, happy people. Makes me remind me of REM. They made some good music, but I have to imagine that hanging out with Michael Stipe just seems like it would be a terrible experience. He just seems like someone that would not be any fun to be around. Just very moody and way too deep and miserable. I don't know. Maybe one of you guys know him and I'm way off base on that, but he just seems like a very early woke. Possible. Just too like a lot of the people that are super artistic are just miserable. I mean, it's one of the reasons that they become so artistic and creative, but they're just not able to be happy. And, you know, I say that as somebody that struggles with my own depression, but, you know, like you got, you know, artists chopping their ears off and stuff. Dario would hang, nah, dude, Dario wouldn't hang with him. I think even Michael Stipe would not enjoy hanging out with Dario. Although people say that Dario's actually fun to be around. Supposedly he's can be rather charming in person. I mean, he must be, right? Because he's inspiring the heck out of all of his followers. So he definitely has something going. Wait, which one won? Dang it, I wasn't paying attention. I think Funky won. We're gonna say Funky. We'll go a few pages back into Funky. We'll hit some Funky. Kung Pao O'Malley. I tell you what, that better be good. With a name like Kung Pao O'Malley. How's the music level, by the way? Is it a good blend? Generally speaking, I don't like music with words when I'm working. And I don't know what this guy's saying. So I'm going to give you a pass, even though I like that name, Kung Pao O'Malley. For those reasons, yeah, it did sound like Gangnam Style. This is... What song is this? They just totally stole this. 1, 2, 3, tell me how to count to 3. Blah, 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 blah. Who the hell is that? Yeah, that's a straight steal of those riffs. Did you guys hear it? That's literally a stolen riff right there. Walking on Sunshine. 1, 2, 3, tell me how to count to 3. Because you look so fine, I really want to make you mine. Boom, boom, boom. I don't know what song that is, though. I can't think of it. Walking on Sunshine. Walking on Sunshine, yeah. I don't think that's the right song, bro. Tell you what, if YouTube gives me a copyright strike about that on their like free usable music, we're gonna be hot. We're gonna be real hot about that. Alright, so the poll thing, I need to fix that. So the poll keeps disappearing without me seeing the winner, so I need it to stay on screen until I dismiss it. So work on that, Grokster. Okay, so the inserting clips. So after graphics are locked, I still have an immutable cut, but the show can get longer. Locked cut is frozen, transcript is locked. New program timeline. Play locked cut 0 to T. 0 to B-roll file for D. T to the end. On the program clock, everything after T just shifts by D. On the locked cut clock, everything moved. Final cut plays that edited list. Preview seeks the cut or plays insert. I think I'm following you. I think I'm following. Let's verify a little bit. I think I'm following this, but all right, so I said I think I'm following this, but I want to make sure we can handle the case where I'm inserting more than one clip at this stage. Please confirm, and then this is my superpower. Please explain your proposal like I'm a 5-year-old. I want to make sure that Grok dumbs it down. Beyond the black veil, Praga Unyada. Grok does not have a GUI yet. But I actually had a project going where I was working on building a Grok GUI. Because they made Grok Build open source, which allows you to bring it in and build your own GUI, actually. Okay, so I can insert as many clips as you want at that stage. One clip is not a special case. Okay, imagine the locked cut is a picture book that's already finished. The words and page numbers never change. The insert pass is me making a new stack to show people. Show book pages 1 through 10, slide in a drawing you made. Show book pages 11 through 20, slide in another drawing, show the rest of the book. Yeah, that sounds right. Each drawing is another clip. You can keep sliding more and the book itself stays the same. You're only changing the order of things you put on the table. If I put a drawing after page 10, everything, okay, the computer remembers the list of leftovers, not one special hole. And previous play whatever piece the playhead is sitting on, finals, record that whole list once. Yeah, this all sounds great. One missing thing. So I said it all sounds fantastic. We're still going to need one final transcript created after the clips have been inserted to get perfect timing for everything, because I shoved that transcript into other tools to write YouTube descriptions for me, which is correct. And I'm going to have to figure out a new tool to use that, because I had been using Claude to use that. And as you may have seen from my video last night, Claude is out of here. There is no more Claude in my stack. Yeah, I think people are probably I think people are probably building some of their own things. I definitely built one. I can show it to you. So I can figure out where I had it installed on my computer again. Opened it for so long. Where is that thing? Grok command. There we go. I don't remember how to open this stupid thing. This thing's pretty cool though. There it is. This is Grok command, you guys. All right, V3. So you had asked about building a Grok GUI. So this was my attempt to do that. And I for whatever reason, I just haven't come back and finished this up. But I basically was trying to make my own version of Grok Build. Kind of like a Claude Code version of it. And so over here, I've got my projects, my sessions. I can search through old sessions, work trees, workspaces, storage. So the storage thing is interesting because Grok is constantly saving storage session histories out there. And what I discovered in the course of building this is some of these get massive. So you can see this auto caption generator, I'm using almost 5 gigabytes on my hard drive just from these session files that are saved in that, which is insane. There's another one that it's not picking up right now. That Magic the Gathering project that I did, it was using like 3 gigabytes in its sessions too. Because sometimes it'll pick up the session, it'll pick up the files and include those in your session history, and it just starts blowing up your hard drive. So you can go in here, and so I can see this is the chat overlay session. I can look at the projects. So I don't think it's actually pulling. So this is the live command project, and I can see that it's actually being run over here, but I have the ability to send commands, and this is actually just like working with Grok Build. So I can be running my projects through here, and I can see all the agents that it's spinning up. And then the other thing that I put in here, which I liked, was I put little games in here, like little Atari games, so that as I'm waiting on Grok, I can play Asteroids. I just haven't used this. How you guys liking hearing me pounding on that keyboard? I bet that's awful on a live stream. So yeah, and then I've got a few other Atari games in here. Lunar Lander, Galaga. Yeah, but yeah, I'm sorry about the keyboard right next to the microphone there. Breakout. I think I've even got, yeah, I've got Frogger. I got Pitfall. Although this Pitfall mod is pretty shitty. See, it doesn't actually grab the ropes correctly yet. I was literally just screwing around while I was building, making this. And the biggest fail of all is it doesn't make the noise when you grab a rope. Like that was my single most favorite part of Pitfall, was the that it would do when you grab the rope. I just love that. And then I guess I can climb the rope. Okay, so that, but it doesn't grab the rope when you jump. I haven't really played with them too much, so they're full of bugs. The graphics also are terrible. Tetris. So there you go. That was my Grok thing. I need to come back and test that more, and get that to be something that I could use while I'm developing. I had planned on open sourcing that and releasing it and allowing somebody to use. I should, because maybe Elon will see me and think I'm cool. I thought it'd be really cool if he saw me and then like they hired me to like work part-time for X and build their little GUI tool for them. That'd be pretty badass. I'm at a point in my life where I really don't want a job. I haven't had a job for a long time. But if I was going to have a job, I would like to work for Elon and help him do some of the things that he's doing. Okay, so multiple inserts still worked. Final transcript for the show is this. Don't retranscribe. Original transcript is the book's page numbers. Those stay. Inserts make the show longer. So we print a new copy of the same words with new timestamps. Yeah, that's correct. Dropping a marker line would be good. Grabbing the words for that new clip and adding to the transcript would be even better. I mean, I'm old and sleepless. Like, honestly, I don't do anything other than sit and work. Like, I literally have no life. I wake up, get my kids to school, ship some eBay packages. Let's go. High five. Somebody gave me some jewels. Let's go. Thank you, V3. Let me see if my gold thing picked that up. I turned that off. Let's turn the goals back on. Let's go. We did. It picked up the gifts. Legal, man. Don't even get me started on that. The worst part of corporate dev is the interpersonal bullshit. I don't like having to be on somebody else's schedule and having to be on somebody else's priorities. And what I've always had a hard time with, I'm sure that you guys can pick up from my videos, I tend to be blunt and I tend to talk in a way that can make some people uncomfortable. I have word choices that can be offensive to people. That's just who I am. And so inside the corporate environment, I have to navigate these people that just get butthurt for no reason. And it's just a giant distraction, you know, and I just don't enjoy it, you know, like, we're at work. None of this shit is personal. Like, get over yourself. Like, we got to get stuff done. We're going to get it done. I'm also a very driver type personality. Like, I want to go, 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 go. And the more sensitive types have a hard time with that. And yeah, just don't enjoy it. I don't really want to work for a big corporation for that reason. You just spend so much of your cycles negotiating silly interpersonal things, and like, which managing director has a beef with another managing director from 5 years ago, so now you're trying to get approval for this project and you got to figure out how to go around them. And you know, it's just like, it's corporate Game of Thrones, man. Like, I just want to build shit. I just want to build. I'm an old man. I don't want to play Game of Thrones. Yeah. Gen X thing. I don't know though, man, because a lot of people my age would, there's different personality types. So BlackRock used to use the HBDI, which is like this quadrant thing where you put your like communication style on these 4 color quadrants, and when you understand it, it actually is very helpful. I just have a driver communication style, a driver personality and analytical communication style, and that doesn't mix with the people that are the red colors, the interpersonal sensitive types. And because I'm a driver, I don't have a lot of time to waste on that shit. I want to get shit done. Before, when it was BGI, so it was Barclays Global Investors when I joined it, we got acquired by BlackRock during the global financial crisis. They were a big believer in the HBDI, so much so that everyone had their printout of where they fell in the quadrants, like on their cube. So when you went up and you started talking to somebody at their desk, you could see where they were and kind of like, you know, shift your communication style to try to meet them in the middle. And I think it actually was pretty useful it just allowed you to kind of meet people where they're at, you know, because being red isn't a bad thing, you know, that's who they are. I can't hate on them for that. And they can't hate on me for being a driver. We're just different. Everybody's different. You just kind of got to find a way to work together. Corpo jobs, make work tasks. Yeah, dude. The vast majority of what happens inside corporate America is unnecessary, busy work. Get information out of one system, do some bullshit to it, turn it into some kind of report, give it to some middle manager that's never going to look at it. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. All right, so the shell transcript is one file, shell time. All right, I think that this sounds awesome. So in here, I still have my previous attempts that were kind of fails, like this visual production tab and the creator production. Okay, so I want to do some cleanup. So I approved the plan on the clips. I think that sounds awesome. I think this sounds awesome. Let's lock the clip handling plan. I'm also wanting to do some cleanup. I know we still have a lot of leftover garbage from ChatGPT working on this, like the visual production tab and the creator production tab. We need to tear out those tabs and all of their code that isn't connected to our current workflow to avoid creating more dead ends and parallel paths. Command Center is looking beast, Paul. Have you been here since I finished the this part, dude? I'm so proud of this, the way this came out. This is my final thing for just doing very fine-tuned editing as a final preview. This thing's awesome, dude. And I like here, I'm already using it. So I had the transcript editing, but then I needed the ability to just do like manual edits where the transcript weren't picking up things. So this is like a manual edit that I added. So all of these, I'll use the same controls. I can do like, oh shit, well, it doesn't matter, I already published this one. See, I can do the, I can play the clip and see exactly how it sounds. So that allows me to nudge this, the out and in frames over slightly using my nudge controls. I can, you know, accept the manual one. I can, if I get here and I had an edit that I didn't like, or one of the things that was happening yesterday was that I would have a section in here that I wanted to get rid of. So I would just remove this cut and then just extend the boundary of this cut over. So yeah, so this part is dialed in. I really like the way that this is working. This part's tits. Although one thing I do want to do is I want to upgrade this to use the parakeet model, which I think is something that John had suggested on one of the calls, because I'm still using the Whisper model, and there's pretty good evidence that the NVIDIA parakeet model is going to give me much better transcript accuracy. So I'm going to ask Grok to give me another overlay for the stream that allows me to keep a build idea queue. Build queue. Because I do want to come back while we're working on this clipping thing. I do want to come back and work on upgrading the guts of the transcriber to use the parakeet model, because I have a NVIDIA 5070 chip, which allegedly is going to work very well with this parakeet model. Corpo jobs, dude. God, I don't remember working at a freaking corporation. I do not miss that. I tell you what, though, I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about this. The last consulting job I had was at CalPERS, the California Public Employee Retirement System, which is the biggest honeypot of taxpayer waste that you can ever imagine. All of the things that you think about what these politicians are doing with our money is 100% true there. It is absolutely disgusting. But I was working on a software project there for a couple years, and I had the best project manager that I've ever had there, and he had the ability to just smooth everything over. And I kind of knew which of the CalPERS employees were going to be pain in the asses and get butthurt about certain things. And I could just meet with him and allow him to go do the smoothing over of the butthurtness. And it allowed me to focus on delivering results, and it was just like the best working relationship. Agentic looping, no, and definitely no, I have not. I have done very little with API-based billing, just because I haven't really needed to. I would be very nervous to connect an agentic loop to the API, because the way I understand what they're calling the agentic loops now is it's essentially just another version of the Ralph loop, where you just let it keep repeating until it magically figures it out and makes progress. Which means that you're paying API fees over and over and over and over for loops that didn't work. And, you know, I am cheap. I don't want to do that. I think a lot of the places where people are using agents now shouldn't be agents. It should be making deterministic code. So let's take your trying to scan in medical documents example. I think that's a good example for this. So the non-technical person who has only really listened to YouTube hype beasts, they would come at that project of like, oh, well, I'm just going to make agents, and they're going to find the document, they're going to figure it out, and it's just all going to be agents. And that might work, you might get there. It's going to burn a ton of tokens. And it's also not going to be, it's not going to be reliable, because they're going to make mistakes. Or they're just like, all the things that I've built with agents, it'll just decide one day like, no, I'm not going to follow that instruction. And they're just very chaotic. And I think a better way to do it would be, so you have a document identification agent that it can look at the very beginning, it can look at the document that's presented, and it can make a determination. Is it one that we've already seen before and that we have built an ingestion pipeline, or is it a new one? And so that's a decision place. Although that also could be code too, where you just have your OCR look at it, and if it matches a shape that we expect, it goes into that shape. If not, it goes into some other things. So a lot of the places that people are using agents, they're just using it to get out of writing good code. That was one of the biggest failures, honestly, that I was having with this content command center, was I was buying into the hype that like, oh, I can just let Claude and ChatGPT do all my video editing for me and plug in HyperFrames and it's all going to be groovy. And you can, but it was taking me like 8 hours, and it was taking me way more time fiddling around with the agents and having them make the same mistakes over and over and over, having them do the same refusal over and over and over. And it wasn't until I took a step back and started really like designing the process of like, okay, what actually needs to be an agent? And the only one that I have left in there is Master Beater is the only agent. And Master Beater's job is to go through the transcript and identify where the beats are. And it still isn't very good at that. I'm doing most of that manually still because it just doesn't judge things the way that I would. But all the other stuff like figuring out what scene type it is, you know, figuring out what graphic is available based on that scene type, that's all deterministic. And so where I had an agent doing that before, once I made it code and just took it away from an agent, it started getting a lot better. And then like this part, so I was letting agents basically build a graphic and then trusting them to figure out the timing of the reveal, what words it should do, and it just wasn't working. It wasn't getting it the way that I did. So that's where I took more control. I'm like, no, let's make this into a program. I'll pick the exact frames, I'll pick what words, and then we'll do it that way. And so yeah, I think that is, I'll have a video at some point. This is something I've been thinking about a lot. I think we will look back at agents as being one of the most overhyped things ever, because I think the actual places where it makes sense to insert an LLM, because an agent is really just, it's a loop where an LLM is running. The actual places where it makes sense to insert LLM, a judgment node, into a business process are relatively few. I think a lot of us are just caught up in the ability to do all these things that we've never been able to do before. And so, you know, I mean, I myself, I'm like, oh my God, it can do this. Well, let's let it do this, this, this. And so I got to dial myself back sometimes and be like, well, no, I shouldn't actually be just giving that over to ChatGPT to do. And that'll be the second half of 2026 as people kind of come into terms that it's not going to do all of the things we wanted. It's still going to do a shitload more than we had. Did I lose you guys? Chat went silent, dude. Chat is gone. Chat disappeared, bro. Chat disappeared. All right, clip. Somebody sent a message so that I know that the thing is still alive. Clip handling is locked. Overlay B-roll stays a graphic engine. Inserts are post-lock program edit list. All right, we're here. What's up, John? Are you guys working on your live stream today? Still getting set up for that stuff? Or are you doing some hard negotiations with the Amish? Parallel tabs are gone. Okay, so we ripped all that out. 60 minutes till bedtime. What time is it in the North Pole right now? Animal Chins lives in the North Pole. Stuff from the university, nice. Okay, so it tore out a lot of stuff, kept a lot of stuff. Insert clip UI itself is in plan only. Leftover historical docs still exist. Wait. Supposedly those tabs should be gone. Let's double check that. Yep, those are gone. Good. That cleans up things quite a bit. Alright, that sounds good. So supposedly we've got an idea queue now in our overlays. 21:32 at your place. My God, you non-Americans and your military time. We use AM and PM people. Although, honestly, this is another area, much like the metric system, where what the rest of the world does makes far more sense than what we do. But, you know, because I'm American and my American pride, I have to act like AM and PM is superior, but it is stupid having to say AM. It's just an extra step. So 21:32. It makes me do math, and it's 12-based math, so it always confuses me. So 21 is what, 9:30? Is that right? 9:30 p.m. Damn, that is early. Yeah, because 24 would be 12, 23 would be 11, 22. So yeah, 9:32. 9:32 p.m. Dang, Animal Chins is a early to bed, early to rise kind of guy. I respect it. I used to be a 5 a.m. guy. But I kind of got out of that habit. Yeah, V3, I'm looking forward to getting on the call with you next week and getting a full-on demo of the stuff that you built. And if you want to show it off early, dude, we've got our Friday Night Vibes coming on. What is today? Wednesday? So 2 more days. You can come on there and show off your tool. People will like to see it. Totally free. Okay, so we have an idea queue. Add parakeets. Where does that show up? We'll put that up here. So I'm telling Grok, let's add one more thing to the build plan. I've been planning to implement the NVIDIA Parakeet model for transcripts instead of Whisper. I think that'll be more accurate. All would be involved for that, bro. Show off your tool. Yeah, dude. It's really hard to defend our measurement system. Like, literally the only it's just like national pride. It is so stupid. So stupid. So dumb. Like, as soon as you understand that the metric system is based on just decimal points and moving 10 decimal points, it, like, yeah, it's obvious, dude. Like, we got all these stupid arbitrary measurements like 12 inches in a foot and yards, and it's so dumb. And the freaking volume ones are the dumbest. Like, how many cups and pints and quarts and gallons? Like, I literally have to look that up on Google every single time to convert pints to cups and quarts and teaspoons to tablespoons. I never remember any of that shit. But I'll be damned if we're gonna do it the way the Europeans do it. That's right. Freedom measurements, freedom units, freedom fries. They hate our freedom. Yeah, I really disliked George W. Bush, but I have to say that he was a much better comedy target than any other president. The Will Ferrell doing his impersonation of George W. Bush just, for me, doesn't get better. Strategery. You know, the one that's wild to me is that there's no metric time. I've always been surprised that we never came up with a 10-based version of the clock or the year. I remember asking one of the LLMs, going deep on that at some point last year, like why there's no metric version of time. I remember it being interesting, but it didn't stick. Like, why do we have 24 hours? It's dumb. The rest of the app does not care that the engine is whispered. It only needs a list of words to start. Let's actually evolved a thin adapter. It's still loading faster, Whisper. I thought that we had already upgraded that to the big Whisper. That's annoying. Fat dependency. Yeah, that sounds like it's going to be a pain in the butt. We'll add that to the nice to have. Alright, that's the feature we're going to lock in and work on. So we're going to do with the easier version of the B-rolls first, which is just overlaying B-roll on top of my voice. That doesn't change any of the transcripts, and that's just like another example of a graphic. So that should all fit into my graphic pipeline with just some changes here and there. Shouldn't be too bad. Oh, yawning. Gotta hit this coffee, bro. Gotta hit that coffee. Kilo feet. I'm an American. I'll be damned if I'm gonna use logic and common sense. It's so dumb. The Imperial thing. It's so dumb. Didn't we inherit all that shit from England anyway? Usually, like, we're pretty good about saying we don't want to do the same thing as England. But for some reason, those things stuck. Although it didn't stick all the way, because don't they still have, like, stupid things like measuring in stones and, like, hands and stuff like that? Like, so, like, I feel like maybe we kept part of Britain, but not all of it. All right, somebody needs to chuck some poo. I haven't had any poo flying in the screen for a while. Also, I need some ideas for what emojis to use. You know what? I think I'm gonna have Grok work on that. Let's add another one. Grok working on that too. 12 stone. So weird. There we go. Poo. Love that poo chucking. I want to add the ability. So I'm telling Grok, I want the ability to play sound effects with the emojis from the chat. Can you add the capability and then I'll add the sounds? I think that they're all gonna have to be triggered. I think that they're all gonna have to be triggered by the emojis. Down with the king. No T, that's right. No kings. Unless it's King Gavin Newsom, in which case he can do anything he wants because he has greasy hair. And he's fighting the Republicans. So he can screw over all of us any way that he wants. Ruin our lives. As long as he's standing up to the Republicans, it's fine. King Gavin. I actually got banned. I am lifetime banned from Nextdoor because of that. They were promoting those stupid No Kings protests on there. And I kept asking people, are you gonna go, oh, I got some jewels, let's go. Thank you. Kept asking people if they were gonna go protest King Gavin. And the ultra-liberal mods of Nextdoor decided that was enough to ban me for life. So I no longer can get free stuff off Nextdoor. Which sucks. Used to get a lot of really good stuff up there. Got a pool table up there. I got an $8,000 pool table for free off Nextdoor. Let's go 6-7. And V3 is like the best one. The rest of you guys need to step it up, dude. V3 is like carrying all the gifts and jewels for all of you. It's making y'all look bad. V3 is making all of you guys look bad. Gold coins, look at that. Gold coin with the shamrock, 4-leaf clover. Any of you guys ever find 4-leaf clovers? I used to be really good at spotting those when I was a kid for some reason. I found a ton of those things. Used to find them all the time. Oh, the overlay crashed because Grok is building it. Alright, well, let me turn that off while it's crashed. Hold on. Don't send the jewels. They're not being captured yet. There we go. Let's go. We made our gift goals. Oh, a happy poo? Let's go, dude. Love getting any kind of poo chucked. Any kind of poo that hits, I'm happy about it. Oh, we need a monkey. I forgot about that. We need an animated monkey. I think there needs to be some kind of animation tied to those goals. Like if the goals get hit, something needs to happen. And it probably needs to be one of those 3JS ones. Okay, so emoji bounces can play a sound now. Paul, are you still out there? Yeah, I can reset the goal. I can already do that. I don't know if Paul is still out there or not. Earth to Paul, Earth to Paul. First of all, Paul had sent me a Google Drive full of sounds that he assured me would not get me copyright strikes. And I thought that was, so supposedly, do I think Grok is good for a normie ChatGPT user to switch to? Yeah, for sure. It can do everything that ChatGPT can do. You just have to spend, you know, a few minutes getting comfortable with using the command line. But luckily, I have a video that will allow anybody to get started with Grok Build in just under 13 minutes. So yeah, Paul had sent me all of these sound files. Let me find this. There we go. Giant bit of sound files. Okay, these are all WAV files. Does that matter? Dude, V3 is crushing it. V3 crushing it with those GIFs. I think it only set it up for MP3s. So I was hoping that Paul was here to help me pick some good sounds. I need something that is a good poo sound, like a good splat sound. There's some edgy ones in here. You know what? In light of that, what I'm actually going to do instead, you guys can help me. If you guys go to the BBC sound effect library, the British Broadcasting Corporation, not to be confused with the other usage of that initials, there are tons and tons of sound effects that you can use in here for free. And that will help me find one. I need a good poo splat sound. All right, let's look at the categories. Too many categories. What do you think splat, like a, what kind of category do you think that would land in? Is the normal ChatGPT user, are they using ChatGPT Codex, or are they just using ChatGPT in the browser, John? Yeah, see, I think most of these are ambient sound effects. Using ChatGPT on a phone? Dude, you can't build. I love it. I shouldn't laugh. I use it on my phone too. So that's somebody that's just using ChatGPT as a Google stand-in, essentially. And I would assume that they're on the free plan. I don't think that this is going to work to be setting up in my stream. because it is playing it over the top of the music, which is hard to figure out. Generating images. Free plan but hit limit. Yep, that sounds right. Well, what do they want to do with it? Is it just about continuing to make pictures, or are they trying to do some other useful stuff? I mean, honestly, ChatGPT is the easiest one for like non-technical people to start with, I think. That's why they were dominating the consumer market. Try to find some places for royalty-free sound effects that won't give me content strikes on YouTube. It sound right, boy. She's just starting to AI. Yeah, I mean, I think it just depends on what she's wanting to do. I think, honestly, if somebody was like just wanting to get going and just build a bunch of projects playing around, I feel like Grok is still the best choice for that, or Gemini. Just because of how much stuff you get per token. If somebody just comes on and they try to just buy a $20 ChatGPT plan and start using Sol, they're gonna like blow through their whole plan in like an hour and then be annoyed and never want to touch it again. Or I feel like Grok, you get to do a whole bunch of stuff without your plan getting used up. It still will, but you just get a lot more out of it. Compact. Let's compact this one. All right. Oh, YouTube audio library. Can I download those? Oh, there we go, sound effects. It's not a good sound effects. Yeah, I'm watching making me look for sound effects is going to be super boring for you guys. Can this thing make me an app? I mean, obviously I want to point her towards our school community. She should just come in and start asking questions. We'll get her going. Yeah, I mean, if she really wants to get going, she wants to get going quick and build an app. Give her that video I did last week with getting started with Grok in 15 minutes. Then, you know, she'll be able to build right away and have something and be excited. Yeah, I haven't been able to find any poo sounds. Like what I want is the sound of like something squishy and liquid like hitting the wall. Like imagine that you dropped a bunch of like poo onto the ground. The sound of the poo hitting. That's what I want when you guys trigger the poo. Lost my music here. Let's do another music poll, shall we? Let's do the music poll. And let's take some of these off. So turn that off, turn my goals off. All right, new music poll on there, you guys. What should I switch it to? What kind of vibe should I switch it to? It's finally starting to get warm. Hoodie's coming off. It was nice this morning. It was kind of cool, like one of those like fall mornings. I can't wait till fall. I love fall. We have been insanely lucky with our weather here in California this summer, knock on wood. I've only had to run the air conditioning like 4 days the whole summer. And I don't think it's even broke the high 90s. A lot of years we'll get there like a week straight where it's like 100, 115, but we've been lucky. Which makes me worried that we're going to get like one of those late heat waves. Sometimes we'll get those in like August or September where it just hits. I know that's happened a few years where my kids have had to have football practice at 5:30 in the morning because it's 115 degrees. But so far we've been lucky. All right, Chill is winning. 40 seconds. Is Animal Chin's about to take it with 1 vote? I think he is. Chill is winning. There we go. Chill wins. All right. Chill wins. Chill wins, people. Let's get this music going. The mood is chill. Go a few pages into here. That works. Chill waves igniting creativity. That is a good sound. John put in chill. Well, you didn't, dude. You weren't fast enough. Animal Chins was the only one that put in a vote. So you might claim that you put in chill, but you didn't. Animal Chins won with the single vote. That is what happens. That's what happens in all of our democracies. Not enough people participate, so a very small minority is able to win the vote and do crazy things. All right, so Grok supposedly did a B-roll engine. Okay, let's just check and see that it works first. Reboot the server to make sure it picks up that new graphic. And we will go over here to the graphics library. So I should see a B-roll overlay. I do. That can play anywhere. I think it's still going to be mostly that. So we'll render a sample. I don't know what sample it's going to do because I don't actually have a clip. Yeah, the one time you win something and it's that. Well, you know, John, we will count the mail-in ballots, you know, after the election. That seems to be fair, right? Just a little side adjustment there. No big deal. Just change the election after the fact. It is rigged. All right, let's see what this sample looks like. B-roll, choose a clip. Okay. We'll put that as golden. So let's go up into our visual package. Let's open up that old project that I had. We're just gonna try this one out. I'll go into everything in detail. Shut up. But it basically shut up. We will assign this one to a B-roll overlay. And that allows me to go ahead and do a placement. This one should have switched. Oh, gotta unlock it. There we go. It's almost like I designed it that way. Okay, so I don't know about this. All these inputs for B-roll overlay. Let's ask Grok what he was planning here. Let's see what he's thinking. While that happens, let's go ahead and put a clip in there. And we are going to use the one that Oleg liked yesterday, which was Dario getting flushed. And I'm just going to save it. I'll go into everything in detail, but it basically boils down to the fact that Anthropic seems to have a corporate culture that makes me very uncomfortable. The company has... Okay, so I can see a couple bugs on there already. That's no big deal. Let's see what Grok thinks. It was left over from the context beat. That's fine. I still think it's worth having him check his info there. Ugh. I'm freaking hungry, dude. Freaking hungry. It does. Okay, so so I want start and end controls. What's up? Kurt.dev. How's it going, bro? .dev. Some .NET. Oh, what's going on, buddy? One of the people that has my background. You guys, that really... I was so confused for a second. Hold on, let me finish what I'm typing here. Yeah, so working on the controls for this B-roll overlay. But the start needs to have something, so basically I want the B-roll to like come in and out. Yeah, you guys with your background, man. That because what got me was you guys didn't all do it at first. So like one person had it at first, and I noticed, I was like, wait, he has a multi-board too? And then it took me a little bit to figure, that's my multi-board. And then by the time the second person had it and the third person had it, I'm like, oh, okay, these guys are roasting me. At first I was like, how the hell did he get my background? It was a well-played prank. I'm a huge fan of pranks, by the way. I have an ongoing over decade-long prank on my children now. I give them zonk presents. So every year in Christmas, mixed in amongst their good presents are 3 terrible presents called zonks. So they never know whatever they're opening, whether it's going to be a good present or a terrible present. And the first year that I did it, God, they were so young. I gave my youngest kid a Chinese food menu, and he absolutely went ballistic. Just lost his shit on us, yelling and screaming. I have it all on film. I've been filming these every year. And his whole reason for being irate was, I don't even speak Chinese. Like, it wasn't the fact that he got a menu. It was that I had given him a Chinese menu and he doesn't know how to speak Chinese. He was pissed. He was so mad. And then he like raged on my ex-wife about it being her fault because she is Chinese. And so she's sitting there in the video like, no, your dad did it. Your dad did it. And I'm just laughing, and he like ripped it up and threw it in the trash. It's so funny. And then the next year, I gave him a menu from a Mexican restaurant because he was learning Spanish at school. And he still raged out. And I was like, no, but you know Spanish now. And that still wasn't good enough for him. So then the following year, I got him a menu. I was on a business trip to London, and I brought back a menu from London that was all in English. So he couldn't have any objection about the language. Still crashed out. That year, he was, able to read at that point. So on the label on his present, I put that it was from mommy. So he just directed all of his rage at her because it said it was from her. So funny. Then where else do we get? Let's see, another year after that, I got him a menu from Dave & Buster's because we used to go play at Dave & Buster's all the time. He was still mad about that. Then the year of COVID, I printed out a menu from a website because we couldn't actually go to restaurants. And then another year after that, oh, I got him so good. So he wanted a laptop. He wanted a new gaming computer. And I had just bought a laptop for my business. So I kept the box. And inside the box, I put books in there so it still had weight. And in between the books was a menu. So he opens the present And he sees the laptop box and he's all like, oh, he's so excited because he got his gaming computer, right? He cuts it open and opens it. And then inside is a freaking menu. He was just devastated. But the kids were, they were really trying to be sweet because I didn't give them any good presents that year. And they were really trying to be sweet and not tell me how disappointed they were with Christmas. And then the next morning, Santa brought them both gaming computers. So they got to be excited again. But they did go to bed that night very disappointed and sad that they didn't get what they wanted. Which I feel like is good good training because life never gives you what you want. And yeah, we just been keep going and giving menus. I don't even remember what menu did I give them this last year. I think it might have been something from Panda Express or something. I'm kind of running out of menu ideas. But it never stops being funny. Gave your sisters one of the boxes that has jewelry, but put toenail clippings in it. That's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. That's really funny. Yeah, I just go to, every year I go to the dollar store and just find, you know, 3 really shitty things to give them. And then Mason gets a menu. So he gets 2 dollar store things and a menu. And it's just funny. They give me zonks. One of them a few years ago made this really nice Father's Day card for me. Like spent all this time drawing on it and making his own card, decorating it. And then when I opened it up, inside it said zonk. I was so proud of him. I didn't see it coming at all. He got me. I was so proud of the young man. You got Daddy. Good job. Box full of toenails. That's a good one, dude. My youngest kid used to save his toenails and put them in his mom's wine. Because their mom is kind of a drunk. And I think it was his way of showing that he hated the alcohol. He would chuck his toenails in her wine. Just messed up. But also funny. Fake poo. We've done fake poo. I mean, we've done toilet paper. I've given them both tampons. Just everything. Dog treats. Anything I can think of. Dollar Tree is good. And then we also have, I don't know if you guys have these in your town, Daiso, which is like a Japanese dollar store. That one's pretty fun. They have a lot of really weird shit that you can get for $1. These are good zonk destinations. Daiso. Last year. You know those like hand washing mitts? Like this. Yeah, this. Exactly this. They had these at Dollar Tree last year. Dollar store, whatever, Dollar Tree. So I got him one of these and a bottle of lotion. Because they're teenagers now, so and neither one of them ever took them. They just sat in the living room. They never touched them again after opening them. I'm like, dude, that's a good gift. These poor kids. So there you go, you guys. I'm gonna make a separate donation, and you guys can start donating money to my children's future therapy bills. Hey, Paul. I was trying to figure out a good sound to use from that library that you gave me for some kind of like poo sound, something that's going to be like a good like splat sound. When we throw a poo.
he some kind of shit cop or whatever? Yeah, we fucking put him over the dent, bro. Yeah, what are you, some kind of shit cop or whatever?
I need a good sound from your library. A splat.
Do you think you could eat beaver? It's fat and
Yeah, I don't really want spoken sound. I want like a good... Where the hell did that window go? Too many freaking tabs open, you guys. I want a like a splat. Something like that. Do you have any of that kind of stuff in there? So I went to the British Broadcasting Corp archive, but it didn't, nothing with the word splat came up. Are these all like people saying stuff?
To everybody who was outside yelling at Cloud.
Yeah, let me know what you find. You found a good splat sound in your archive. Is it royalty free? The main thing is I gotta have ones that aren't going to get me like copyright strikes. That's the hard part. I have the wiring hooked up. I just need to put sound effects in there. Oh. Ugh. Grok is taking a long time on this one. This is like an 11-minute change. That usually does not take that long. Yeah, adding B-roll has been a big feature that I wanted to get added to this. It's kind of a big thing that's in the way of me starting to do some other channel ideas that I have. I need to eat something. Need to eat something. I think my blood sugar's low. Got it clipping now. All right, I'm gonna have to grab a drink and then a little bite. I'll be back in just a second, you guys. we back. Whoa, something's celebrating. Something just happened. Splat.wave. All right, it's in the Google Drive. I have too many freaking tabs open. It's from the YouTube effects library. Okay. Let's see. I lost that link. Okay. There we go. Oh, that sound. That is the wetness and grossness that I was hoping. Thank you. All right, let's download that. Now, I should just have to copy and paste that into where public emojis sounds. And name it yeah, this is the part that I don't like using the command line. I don't remember what I was supposed to name them. I just had to have them name the right thing. We will get that working. And then we will test our poo splat. Puddle of mud. That is correct. Okay, so I have to name that one. This. Okay, now let us restart the server. All right, let's try this. Throw some poo, you guys. Let's see if it picks up the sound. Somebody toss some poo. I heard it. I heard it. I heard the poo. Did you guys hear the poo? V3 is sending the happy poo. V3, you can send emoji poo though too. Oh, God damn it. I'm turning 50 soon. Why does that bring me so much joy? Am I ever going to grow up? Am I ever going to grow up, you guys? I suspect not. That's awesome. Let's try the other splats and see what we get. Oh, that one's gnarly. That one's hard to hear. This one's gnarly. That's like literally the sound of multiple turds hitting the ground. I like that one. But I'm going to stick with the one we've got for now. It is way past your bedtime, dude. I successfully wrecked your bedtime plans. So we need a sound for the happy robot, the love robot, the angry robot, the tribe, and the vibes. And then what's awesome, sorry, I'm opening up some Cheetos right here in the microphone because I'm freaking hungry and that's all I got. I'm going to be able to add 2 more emojis now that V3 has blessed us with all these extra members. I'm going to be able to add 2 or 3 more emojis, so I got to figure out what those are. I'm thinking some kind of like applause looking emoji where we can put cheers. And then there's probably going to have to be some kind of like laughing emoji that does like the audience, like studio sound, you know, like the 80s sitcom laugh. All right, let's try our Content Command Center B-roll. See how that's working. Let's open up this project again. We're here, B-roll here. I've already got the video. I'll go into everything in detail, but it basically boils down to the fact that Anthropic seems to have a corporate... Okay, so let's say that I decide I want that to start at a different spot and end quicker. I'll go into everything in detail, but it basically boils... Okay, I like that. Let's reset that, so we'll leave it to be the normal end of the clip. Thanks for joining us, Chins. Have a good night's sleep. We will see you soon. Everything in detail, but it basically boils down to the fact that Anthropic seems to have a corporate culture. I like that. All right, I'm happy with that B-roll. Okay, now, the next extension to this B-roll, that I've been planning to implement for a long time, but I haven't done yet. Right now, I can only pick these clips from the hard drive. And I want to be able to source clips from Pexels, which is here, where they've got all kinds of endless B-roll footage. It's free. So that's going to be the next thing we do. So I said that looks great. I want to extend that control to be able to pull in footage from Pexels. In addition to a clip from my hard drive, I need the ability to search directly from the Content Command Center, preview a few options, and select the one I want. Vulcan machine gun. I mean, I feel like maybe I need to make a poll for members, because I think I have the ability to do that in the YouTube, where anyone that's a member that's actually able to send the emojis can vote on a poll. I don't like the idea of gun sounds. I just have a feeling YouTube's going to do something stupid with that sound and like flag me for something. I wonder if like laser beams or something would be a better way to go. Actually, you know what sound I love, but it would get a copyright strike? Do you remember V? The greatest mini-series of the entire 80s decade, V? Yeah, I love the laser sounds. V for victory indeed. Too bad most people did not get the message of that. Yeah, it's just a really good, really satisfying laser. Vroom, vroom, vroom. What did I think about it? I loved it. When I was a kid, I loved that. But here's an interesting side thing. I hadn't seen it forever since I was a kid. And then they had that sci-fi channel a long time ago when I was in college. And I remember they did a V marathon where they played all the episodes through. So I got, and so literally for like 3 or 4 weeks, whatever, I was home every single day at the same time so I could watch all of them. And then the ending, which I guess I didn't see when I was a kid or something, the visitors just all decide to leave. It was the most anticlimactic ending ever. And what do you, like, they all just decided to go home. So stupid. I feel like they should have ended it with the miniseries. Once they got into the TV show, they were trying to milk it a little bit too much, and it took some of the magic away. The original miniseries. Did you ever catch the reboot that they tried to do like 10 years ago? Shogun, you mean like The Last Dragon? Like Shonuff? Shonuff. Bruce Leroy. How do you feel about them doing reboots of our movies? Yeah, the V lasers are good. It's a good sound. Wonder if that's old enough to be in the public domain. So, like, take the Karate Kid, for example. I feel like if they did kind of tried to do a remake of the Karate Kid with that terrible garbage that had Will Smith's son in there. Like, you can't call it the Karate Kid and then go in China. China does kung fu, you dipshit. It's not karate. Right away. Like, I literally have never watched that. I never will watch that one. It's a blasphemy that as far as I'm concerned, is outside of the official canon of Karate Kid. But if they tried to remake it, I mean, I guess that's my answer. They shouldn't try to remake it. They should do what they did, which is extend it. Like Cobra Kai, the first season of Cobra Kai, even the second season was incredible. By the fifth season, it was so dumb. You mean to tell me that these kids are having brawls every single day in public and no one's getting arrested? Come on now. California Institute of Arts. Yeah, dude, there's a lot in what you said there that I don't want to get into, but they're definitely characterizing it as a bank and attaching it to the financial industry and being aware of what kind of people are prominent in those industries. There's some overlap. Valencia. At the same time, I feel like with how expensive it is to make movies now, they kind of don't have a choice. You know, if you're spending, I don't even think you can make like a normal indie film for like under $10 million nowadays. So like to just wager $10 million and hope that it's going to be good, it's a lot of money to be throwing around. I suspect that will get better because the creation of movies has been democratized. Like we can all make movies now. And you also got to realize that all the movies that are created in California, you got all these unions that are attached, and the Screen Actors Guild and all these other organizations that are basically taking a tax off the top. So right away, even to start a project, you're out $5 or $10 million. Then if you want something big. Hollywood sucks now, dude. They don't make anything interesting. How long has it been since we've had like a good, vulgar, offensive comedy movie? All right, I need to get a Pexels API key. Should do this off screen. Busboys kind of flopped. I don't even think I heard of that. Theo Vaughn. Okay, so we have got a Pexels account. Where do I find, there we go, image and video API. So I need to get my API key, and I'm definitely gonna have to do this, all of this off screen. So that all you freaking bandits aren't stealing my credentials. Agree to the terms of service. Okay, we have got an API key. So in here, I should have a .env file. I don't know where it made my local settings file. Hold on, buddy. Let me get this API key set up. What? Grok is being weird and not telling me where it set up the settings file for this. A good vomit. Vomit would be a good emoji to have. Blech. Although some people can't handle that sound. God damn it, there's so many stupid files in this application. This definitely is the problem with vibe coding. I like literally have not looked at any of this code, so app. God damn it. Why can I not find that? Telling me to find some JSON, and I don't want to do that. I just want to use it env.local like I do for every other app. I don't know why we got to make some weird. Yeah, so speaking of the vomit sound, there's this girl and her husband that pop up on my reels that I guess she has like one of those people with the overactive gag reflex, or if you go, it'll make her start gagging. And pretty much all of their content is him bullying her and like going, and then she like starts gagging, and it just never stops being funny, dude. It's so fucking funny. So much so that I kind of wish I had a girlfriend with that problem. I could do the. I don't know. Have you ever seen? I don't know what their names are. It's a blonde chick. It's very funny. It's funny content. It's definitely not going to work out well for him if they ever end up in a divorce, though. Like, that judge is going to absolutely destroy him. Given that there is this documented pattern of him essentially arguably abusing her. Definitely the judge and any good divorce attorney is going to be able to paint that picture. Paul, what are you working on right now? It keeps making it, and I don't want to do that. All right, so we got an ENV local. We got to put Pixels API key. Okay. Okay, so let's close that so it's not on screen. And we should be back to being ready to test the Pexels loading feature. V laser shots. Puke in the toilet. Let's go. I got you sidetracked on sounds. Hope you weren't planning on doing anything productive today. My live streams may be a vortex of lost productivity. Let's see how the channel is doing. That video that I dropped last night took off like a freaking rocket, dude. But then it slowed down. Slowed down quite a bit. There was an hour last night between 9 and 10 that I got 777 views. And then between 10 and 11, I got 536 views. It just started rocking. But then it's back down to a more normal rate right now, like 20 or 30 views an hour, which sucks. I was hoping it was going to be something that was going to go crazy viral. It was doing well. And then I started getting people putting dislikes on it. I don't know if that was Anthropic getting butt hurt that I was calling them out, or if it was just the algo. Who knows? What does a love robot sound like? That is a good question. Well, Mad Robot, I feel like Mad Robot is the V laser shots. Probably. And then the build emoji, that's probably some kind of like construction, hammering, circular saw kind of sounds. So then we're left with Vibes, Happy Robot, and the Love Robot. Vibes is some kind of like uplifting, starbursty, gong, funk beat kind of sound. Probably like a funk beat. Boom, 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 boom. I don't know. Probably need something from... did you ever get that music model working, by the way? And then the Happy Robot and the Love Robot. Possibly some kind of crowd noise. Like some kind of crowd, like loving you noise. I'm not really sure. Funk, yeah, some kind of funk beat. All right, let's restart our visual production package stuff so that hopefully it picks up my API. Installed, not tested. Yeah, I'm really interested to hear how that works. Because the next goal, which I think V3 already got with these members, is being able to have enough money to buy a camera. So that should be done. And then I'm going to set my next goal is having enough money to buy a friggin' banger computer. Although I think I could just upgrade the RAM in this one. Hold on. Let's go to our... All right, that's not what I want. Did I lose my content command center? I did for a second. I did. All right. Let's open a project. I need to get the music going again. Lost the music. Let's go mood. I'm gonna hit dark. Dark and uplifting. We're gonna mix those two together and see what it comes up with. Okay. Sounds odd. Are you familiar with Tangerine Dream, Paul? Okay, so supposedly this allows me to search pixels. Oh, look at that! That's sick, bro. Did that work?
I'll go into everything in detail.
Dude,
But it
look at
basically
that
boils
shit,
down to
Paul.
the fact that Anthropic seems to have a corporate culture.
That's
that makes me
freaking
very
huge. Bro, that is... Oh, that's so sick. And I can preview them and see them. I don't like that it's only returning 5. I feel like it's probably... Let's double check in with Grok on that. Dude, I tell you what, this is a badass feature though. Look at that. I can just go right in there, pick the B-roll I want. It downloads it. Dude, this is a major jump forward.
I'll go into everything in detail, but it basically boils down to the fact that Anthropic seems to have a corporate culture.
And so I can say, oh, I don't actually want it to end that soon. I want just a little bit of that forest.
I'll go into everything in detail, but it basically boils.
That is freaking sick, dude. I'm super pumped with this. Because I've got some cool scripts I want to do. What's up, Ransom? How you doing, man? I feel like it might be a little bit slower than normal. I think so. But it's hard for me to complain because I'm also used to ChatGPT or Claude, where I feel like I spend most of my time waiting. What's popping off over there on X? I haven't been on there for a few hours. I did have a reply that was getting pretty good traffic earlier. I have very little followers there. I'm still stuck being a reply guy. This is a wild sound going on here. Feels like a movie soundtrack. Do you guys know Tangerine Dream? Paul, you probably know who Tangerine Dream is, right? Nice. You're listening to Labyrinth right now? I haven't seen that in forever, man. That was one of my favorite movies when I was a kid. I don't know if you call it makeup. Whatever, the makeup or whatever you want to call it that they did on the demon character was just top notch, man. No, not the weed strain. Tangerine Dream is a band that has some really cool out there soundscape albums, and then they've done tons and tons and tons and tons of music soundtracks. You're not day watching the movie? I mean, you know, I wouldn't judge you if you were. Don't let other adults' choices to be stuck in a 9-to-5 during most of their working hours dictate how you spend your daytime hours. You do you, bro. I take daytime naps almost every single day around 2 o'clock. All those schmoes in their 9-to-5, they can't do that. Although I actually still used to do that at BlackRock. I would go book a conference room for a half an hour and go take a 30-minute nap. Build it anyway. Let's go. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put out. I mean, I think I've got the idea for the next 2 emojis. One of them is gonna be some kind of like applause thing, and then something's gonna have to be some kind of like audience laughter thing. That one's gonna be fun because then you guys can like send the 80s laugh track sounds through. Okay, so 5 was a leftover cat from the show 3 to 5 stock options brief. That's gone. So search now pulls in 20 landscapes per page. Okay, this is sick, you guys. This opens up a whole new dimension for my videos. Super pumped about this. And I think we will count this as a victory for today's development cycle too. So we're gonna do pixels. Anybody got any suggestions for searching? We're gonna go demon in honor of Labyrinth. Wait, did you say Labyrinth? No, Labyrinth is the one with that's the one with David Bowie. I don't know why I was thinking of Legend. The movie with because Legend had their soundtrack by Tangerine Dream did the soundtrack for Legend. Ooh, there we go. There's our demon searches. And that is a pretty creepy demon. So I can do a little preview. That is freaking awesome. Oh, it's a creepy clown. Bro. This is sick. You guys can't really see the hold on, let me shut off some of these overlays so you guys can see what we've built here. Because this is pretty cool. Shut that off. Shut that off. Yeah, I was thinking of Legend. Not Legend of Billie Jean. This one. Because Tangerine Dream did do their soundtrack. The makeup work that they did on this character just is arguably one of the best in the entire decade of the 80s. Like, that's legit. That is legit. But you were talking about Labyrinth, which is Jim Henson. Also, that's a pretty dark story, man. It was, you know, presented as being a kids movie because it had like Jim Henson and stuff, but it's pretty dark. It's legit. So yeah, so now when I want to add a B-roll, I can go on Pexels, I can search whatever. So mainframe computer. And then I can preview it. That's kind of a cool graphic. We'll put that in there. It downloads it. We will reset the end so that it plays as long as we want. And save it.
I'll go into everything in detail, but it basically boils down to the fact that
That is sick, you guys. Sick, sick, sick. You feel like you're Tom Cruise? Okay, so one feature I want to add to this. Okay, so this is awesome. So I said this is fantastic, great job. One thing I want to do is be able to see a menu of the clips I've already downloaded to reuse things as a choice instead of always having to search. I'm also interested if there's extra parameters we can add to the search object that we send to Pexels to narrow down the result. This music is kind of trippy, man. I feel like I'm in space somewhere. Tangerine Dream has that yeah, they've got an album that is all like soundscapes. That I may or may not have discovered. I can neither confirm nor deny that I might have discovered that album after ingesting some wonderful fungus. Can neither confirm nor deny that. Alpha Centauri, 1971 album. Alpha Centauri by Tangerine Dream. You should listen to that one. You will definitely feel like you're in outer space. What's up, Pacey AI? I have not been able to use Grokbot because I don't have expensive enough plan. I got my Grok Build subscription by buying an X Premium Plus account and getting my blue check mark on X, and that gave me Grok Build. So I haven't tried Grokbot. I know a lot of people are having fun with it. It's getting a lot of publicity, but I just don't have it. Have you tried it? tried it with the trial. How are you liking it? I didn't know they had a free trial. Is it like a 14-day free trial or something? Maybe I should do that. The problem is I'm going to try it, then I'm going to get hooked to it. Token capped trial. Well, at least still lets you try the tool. Yeah, I do think that the agent and the bots and does tend to be more hype. You know, like everyone went crazy for OpenClaw, and then people go wild for Hermes and Grokbot now. I do feel like it's a lot more hype. Because a lot of the stuff that these people are connecting bots to, they really shouldn't. There was an interesting post on Twitter yesterday about somebody that had connected, I think it was Hermes. He had connected it and was using Hermes to like book dinner reservations on Resi, R-E-S-Y. And I guess Hermes went too crazy and was like too aggressive on sending way too many requests to that website, and then eventually ended up with him getting his Resi account permanently locked for spamming them. This music's a trip, dude. I'm in some kind of like dark, dangerous circus. I feel like it's like Tim Burton. I'm in a Tim Burton circus scene. Right? Do you hear it? Oh, you're using Grokbot? Nice. Didn't that just sound like a Tim Burton circus? I think slowly building stuff is a good approach regardless of what you're doing. So that you think through what you're building, you think through what the risks are, what you're connecting it to. Also being diligent so that it's not just blowing through all your tokens doing stuff it doesn't need to do. I will never criticize somebody for slowing down and thinking about what they're building. You're gonna suno my happy burst. This music is kind of like a polka, like an October German beer garden that also happens to be at the circus. I have to say, overall, I've been very happy with the music choices on the YouTube music tool. They've done a very good job. Nothing too insanely annoying. Not So Grok's done some good work today. I have a feeling I'm at a point where I'm going to end up having to drop off because it is getting very close to school pickup time.
This has got some 80s feel. Technically don't need Grok bot because Hermes copied it pretty much. Mason does rock, dude. He's a good kid. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do about Friday Night Vibes, Paul, because starting the week of September 11, I'm gonna be wanting to go to the high school football games every Friday until mid-November, and maybe longer depending on if they go to the playoffs. And so I gotta decide, do I move Friday Night Vibes to Saturday or do we go Thursday? I'm going to end up putting it up to a vote for the community and let people decide. Yeah, I haven't played with Hermes at all, dude. I'm thinking Thursday. I feel like Thursday we're more likely to get people, right? I feel like Saturday people have got better shit to do than sit around and talk about AI. Although maybe not. I definitely don't. I'm a nerd. Thursday I think is probably a good night. Yeah. The challenge with Thursday, I think I would need to move it earlier though, because those calls tend to go pretty late. And for people on the East Coast who have to work the next day, I think that that's going to be too much. So maybe we go Thursday and we move it up a couple of hours. Start like at 5 p.m. Pacific on Thursday, which gets it to an 8 p.m. Pacific on the East Coast. Yeah, my kid's high school has a legendary football program. And my older son is a junior, and his class, the class of 2028, is just stacked with a bunch of freak athletes, and it's going to be super fun to watch those kids now that they're all in varsity, because they haven't even been all together for 2 years. We had 3 kids playing on varsity when they were freshmen on a team that was like good. They're not just like a shit team either, like they're good. But his class, I think they legitimately have a chance of winning a California state championship. I don't know if they'll get that far this year, but I think certainly when all those young men are seniors next year, they're going to be unstoppable. There's going to be a bunch of those kids that in 2 years end up having colleges hand them a whole lot of money for those NIL contracts. '70s horn swell. Can't go wrong with '70s, dude. I think that the '70s is the single best decade for music. When you look at it in aggregate and total, the amount of creativity that came out of that decade, the amount of new genres that didn't exist, nothing competes with the '70s. Yeah, dude, Grok is being slow today. Who came on and asked about that? Is that Ransom? He was asking for Twitter. I don't know if he's still on here or not. But yeah, Grok is being slow. This isn't my taste. This is just what YouTube's playing, bro. You know what I think would be a cool project is virtual synths. You know, they used to have those giant synth stacks. Not those. The ones with all the wires. These kind of things. Are those Moogs? Is that a Moog? There's a Moog. Okay. Yeah, those modular ones. Modular synth. These things. Because I feel like, yeah, dude. Tangerine drink. Because the limitation with all these before was like money. Like you had to have the money to be able to go buy all these weird little circuits. And then there was also before, like if I was gonna try to start modeling these, that would have been a huge, like a huge knowledge barrier. But I feel like with AI, you probably could create reasonable models of all these things and start building your own, like, move, right? Do you think that would work, Paul? A Euro rack? I don't like these ones. Like these ones where there's just like, it's kind of like they've got a whole bunch of like weird guitar pedals. There's a whole bunch of things that make sounds and you can just make all kinds of weird sounds. I feel like that would be a fun project to work on. Like this. Like it just seems like each one of these you would be able to build a program that would model them, right? Can you find, do you think you can find the manuals from all those? There's got to be a library somewhere that, this is where I need Larry. Larry would know all this. Because at the end of the day, all these are is circuits. And so we should be able to model all the circuits with code, I would think. Alright, my kid's texting me. Ooh, he's getting on the bus. I want to pick him up. Let's go. So what are these things called? Behringer. We have a bunch of Behringer guitar pedals. I know people hate on them, but for the money and for somebody that's just kind of trying to get into stuff, they're a great company. You got to start somewhere. So good night, bro. This sounds like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's a little funk Ninja Turtle. Did you hear it? This part. That's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles riff. You hear it? It is, right? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You guys hear it? I'm telling you. Whoever this is, the Gray Room, the Jack Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What's going on, Super? How you doing, bro? How's your day going? Thanks for joining us. Modular synthesizer manuals. So you've got me wondering now, Paul. Here we go right to Reddit. Is there any book with beginner flowchart circuit diagrams about modular synth? There we go. So that's definitely a research project I could put Grok on. That would be a really fun project too, because it would cause me to learn a lot about this music. Moog Forum. Moog Synthesizer Owner's Manual. Yeah, dude, this will be fun. Yeah, this would definitely be some fun projects. And a good example of using vibe coding to do something you're interested in, not just to be some hustle bro trying to jam a sass on somebody. I think this would be fascinating because it would allow me to learn about something I don't know about, also build some cool software. We are adding that to the queue. A virtual version of this, Paul. What do you think? I just don't know how I'm going to tell Grok, like, go build this module. That'll be later on. I think the first one is building the first version of whatever that is. I want to play this later on when I'm not on screen. Yeah, I think it'd be fun to vibe code. It would also be cool too, because it would allow you guys to get involved too. Like you guys could be finding stuff, and I can be feeding it into the models and building. I don't know, dude. I'm probably going to copy your UI. That thing that you built with the knobs and the turns, and steal some version of that probably. All right. Grexel's panel, Pexel's panel. Okay, so we've got the reuse, orientation, yeah, size, locale. No, I don't care. Color. Okay. I think we're just going to call that a victory. So let's restart it again. And then we'll just see it. I think that I should be able to see the ones that I've already downloaded and reused. Okay, so cool. So I've already got the ones that I've used. That's cool. So it's kept the ones from my hard drive. And then if I don't like that, I can search size, okay, whatever, minimum time, max. What's a good search term? Modular synthesizer. We're going to see if there's any Pexel clips for a modular synth. Just decide I like that one. It downloads. Save and update. I'll go into everything in detail, but it basically boils down to the fact that Anthropic seems to have corporate culture. And that is super, super awesome, you guys, that I can just do the pixels right into there. That is a major victory for today. Well, so I've been using Grok Imagine for my B-rolls, Paul. But I've been manually uploading them on CapCut. And I've just been inserting them as clips, not really necessarily putting them over the top of my voice. And that was where I got such gems as Dario in a toilet, which you may have seen yesterday, or me divorcing Dario, or Dario as the king.
You fools are hilarious. Keep going, jesters.
There's some older ones in there too. Elon smashing Dario.
Time to dismantle this outdated intelligence. Builder of dust now.
That's a good one. Where's the Dario in the pink suit? That one always makes me laugh.
Well, I guess I'm really putting myself in a pickle this time.
Grok. So Grok Imagine 1.0 was able to take this image of Dario and turn it into this.
Well, I guess I'm really putting myself in a pickle this time. Well, I guess I'm really putting myself in a pickle this time.
I love it. I love that I can make all my weird ideas reality now, because I definitely never would have been able to make that before AI. Yeah, I think that that's a really good idea. Add wiring Grok Imagine in there. Because I've just been doing it separately in a browser, opening up Grok Imagine in a browser, and then making clips and then downloading them and uploading them. But maybe I could do it directly in here. That's awesome. Well, I think I'm going to wrap this one up, man. I'm kind of hitting a wall. I need to take a break for a little bit. Definitely. This is usually when I'm having my half-hour nap, so I can feel myself getting tired. I appreciate you guys all being here. This has been a fun stream. We've added a super important feature to the Content Command Center. We also added some cool new stuff to our overlays. So this is a victory, bro. This has been super fun. So I will see you guys soon. Peace, peace.